Hey everybody, and welcome back to Horse Talk Live. I'm your host, Lizzie Iverson, and as always, we're talking horses. Today we're talking to a female horse trainer, instructor, and clinician from Middle Tennessee. She's Dale Rudin, and we're talking about the ways that she has developed her horsemanship skills over the years. And like with anybody that's worked with horses, it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of horses to figure things out, but that's what it's all about. As horse people, we are learning. It's a continuous process. Nobody ever knows it all because the horse is always teaching us, always changing. But that's what makes it fun. And the great thing about owning a horse, having a horse, is that there usually is somebody in your area that knows a little bit more than you do, and you can seek that person out. And if you're having an issue, any sort of problem, then you can rely on somebody else that's probably been there, had some experience, and knows how to fix it. Dale is one of those people, and she has a lot of clients who maybe just have a little issue that they need to get resolved, and so you take in clients, they bring their horse to you, you do a little evaluation and help them get back on track.
Yes, and in fact now what I'm doing more is traveling to their farm, or they can come out to Franklin, to my farm there, if they don't have a facility.
Okay.
And that's at Franklin Equestrian, and so they can haul in there. And yes, I have people. People don't ever call and say my horse is perfect and wonderful, and I'd like you to come spend time with us and have lunch.
Yeah.
So there's always some kind of a problem, and they just don't know what's causing it or how to fix it. So yes, the first thing that I do with every horse that I work with, I do a full evaluation of the horse, and it's from the hooves up and the brain out, basically.
Okay.
So I start by looking to see if there are any issues with their teeth, to see if there's any soreness in their back.
Okay. Those basic things that sometimes people, and especially if you're a first-time horse owner, we've all been there, you may not know, and that's why it's so important to find somebody in your area that does know. And that, what you just mentioned, the teeth, that can affect, from front to back. Like it's that one thing that can affect your whole ride and your whole horse's attitude. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were just talking about having, how important it is for the horse to be in a relaxed state of mind and present. And, if his teeth are digging into the side of his face, or he has a headache because they're not touching correctly and they don't meet up, or if he has back pain or hip pain or feet are out of balance, it would be like us spending the day with our shoes, with a wedge on one side, and then, and we're not allowed to use our bodies correctly, and then somebody puts a backpack on us and says, okay, go up and down hills. We're going to be cranky. We're going to have some behavioral problems too. And so I look at behavioral problems more as a reflection of something that's going on with the horse that we need to, do some detective work and get in there and figure out what's going on. Yeah, some horses are just real dominant, or, they have a little bit of an attitude, but usually it's there's a physical reason. I want to make sure that make sure that there aren't any physical issues that are influencing the horse. And then I turn to the owner, and when we talk about leadership, and is the horse getting what he needs to be confident and connected, or is he constantly distracting himself or feeling anxious and tense because he just doesn't know what to do? He's in this herd of two, him and the human he's with, and he doesn't feel that he can follow that human for whatever reason. So that's a huge issue that we need to resolve too.
Okay, so leadership to you, we hear that word a lot in horsemanship, and that we need to establish leadership. What does that mean to you? What does leadership mean in your program?
What it doesn't mean is making the horse do the things that we want him to do. What it means to me is establishing the exact same situation that there is in the herd, where the lead, usually a mare, picks her head up, walks off, everybody else goes, where's she going? And they just walk off too. So the subordinate horse is always following the leader. She doesn't have to go to them and say, hey, what do you think about walking over to the pond right now? She doesn't do that. She just goes. And her attitude is, if you want to stay behind, that's fine, then the coyotes will eat you. The wolves will get you. So, things like crossing a pond, crossing like a stream, walking over a plastic tarp, anything like that. if you are truly a leader to that horse, you don't have to teach the horse about walking over the tarp. You just walk over the tarp and the horse will follow you. Because if he doesn't, he's left alone, and the horse wants to be with the herd. You know, that's where his safety and security is. So to me, that's what being a leader is. And then, you know, if the horse isn't leading correctly, then I work to establish that by, again, using the same techniques that other horses use, which is, you know, I move you, you don't move me.
Okay.
When I turn away from a horse and I walk, the horse should follow me. When I turn and face it, just like in the herd, if the dominant horse is standing and looking, you know, eye to eye with a subordinate horse, he's not going to walk into its face and say, hey, how's it going, and rub on him. He's going to stay back. Because if he does approach, then that dominant horse is going to, you know, bite his face off.
Yeah. So you want, it's kind of like, it's maybe a little bit hard to understand. You want to have this relationship and be a friend to your horse and want them to love you and everything, but you want to continue to be the leader.
Right. So you're, you know, again, like you said, leadership, trust, respect, they're all words. They mean different things to different people. When I'm trying to get that from a horse, I want it to come organically. I want it to come because I've developed this understanding in the horse that says that I'm safe to be around.